Hello, good morning. Morning if you're watching live, and hello if you're watching the replay later on. I'm Maddie of Maddie Harvey Designs. I'm a knitwear designer and knitting teacher based in Edinburgh, and this is my weekly video that I do called Knits and Cake for Breakfast. So the reason behind the name is that before lockdown and everything happened, I was hosting a weekly knit night and I would always do baking, and then I would have some leftovers. And on a Thursday morning, after I dropped my kids off for school, I would have some of the leftover cake for my breakfast. So I've just been trying to keep up with that, and every week I share what I've been designing and working on this week and give you some top tips or how-tos to help your knitting. So this week we've had a birthday in the house. So I made a lemon cake out of this book. Oh, it's very shiny. The Hummingbird Bakery cookbook. I did a lemon, it's not quite a lemon drizzle, but a lemon loaf from this. Because the recipient wanted a Rubik's Cube cake, of course. So I did my best. Can you see? I cut squares out of fondant and stuck them on. It was a bit on the crude side, but he was happy with it. And the lemon was nice. You just put some lemon rind in the mixture, and then I think if you do it properly, you put like a sort of lemon drizzle syrup. Oh, Jane, you've got that book as well. Yeah, I do like this book, but I sometimes find, I think it's been translated from like American measurements and everything, it's sometimes the recipes, the amounts are a little bit odd, or the temperature is a little bit off. So this one, it made loads of mixture, and the loaf tin was really, really full. And then what happened was when it was cooking, the top of it cooked, and then it sort of like the underneath wasn't cooked, and then the mixture was oozing out the side and dripping on the bottom of the cooker of the oven. So when I realised, I put a tray in underneath, but the bottom of my oven is like got all this cake batter. I really need to go and clean it, but I can't quite get motivated to do that. But it makes quite a dense sort of sponge, which I thought was good for a birthday cake that's getting lots of decoration on it. So I've got lots of that left. And the other thing I've made this week, which I have never done before, was I made a trifle. Now I have very strong childhood memories of trifle, and one of my grannies, that was a thing she used to make, and she would put a lot of sherry in them, and then she'd have a wee giggle to herself about the kids having the sherry trifle, and it would always be quite soggy, and it would have that the tinned fruit cocktail. If you're in the UK, you'll know what I'm talking about, with like random fruit that you weren't really sure what it was in the bottom. And so I did, although I would eat it because it was it tasted nice, I never really liked the texture of trifle too much. So I thought I would make one because I had some tinned fruits, tinned mandarins and an orange jelly, and I had some sponge fingers randomly. So I made a trifle, and I tried my very best not to make it a soggy one, and it was really good. So I think I will make that one again, and I shared a photo of it in my Instagram stories, and people sent me some recipes in my DMs, which was nice. So I've got a bit of a list of different kinds of trifle to try. Oh, Linda's saying your nana put you off trifle for life. Yeah. It just always used to be like mush at the bottom, and I never liked that, the mush. I liked the sponge fingers before they got all mushy, and I liked the sort of custard and the cream on the top. But yeah, I think it depends how you like your trifle and how you make it. Anyway, that's something else that I thought I had made this week that I thought you might find quite funny, because it's a very individual thing, trifle. Anyway, so that's what I'm having for my breakfast. I decided not to have some trifle. I thought that might be a step too far. Anyway, and I've got my cup of coffee. So this week I'm having a bit of my usual deadline knitting. Oh, Amy's saying, oh, Black Forest trifle. Well, that sounds nice. Yeah, I made a Black Forest cake at New Year, which was good, and that was the first time I'd made that, and I definitely would make it again. But yeah, trifle sounds good. So I've been, deadline knitting to get this Columella shawl finished for the Yorkshire Yarn Fest. So it's a parallelogram shaped sort of wrap type of shawl, and yeah, it's a lot of knitting in a short space of time to get it done. So this is done in Cambrian wool, and it's this colour is called Slate. It's a really nice dark grey, and it's got a garter stitch rib and then this travelling cable across. So I worked out that I needed to do one of these repeats each day to be finished in time. So there's two of those across the way. Sorry, it's so massive that I can't actually get it in shot. And yeah, so I've just started today's one just before. So I've done about 4 rows, and I've got like 18 to do or something. And then tomorrow I'll just have I'm saying just, it's the same amount of knitting again. I'll have the decreasing edge to match this pointy edge. So I think I'll get it done. I did a video in the last summer about kind of tips and things for getting you motivated if you've got some deadline knitting, or you've got a big project that you need to kind of get through and it's starting to drag a bit, just to sort of break it down into manageable chunks. So that is called something like something about procrastinating, I think I called it. So if you're it's on my IGTV grid, or it's on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, but I've used some of the ideas from that to help me kind of break this down and work out how many rows or repeats I needed to do to get it finished in time. So I'm on track, as long as I have to just make sure that I get that done, get the repeat done today, otherwise I'll fall behind and I won't get it finished in time for Saturday. So that is mostly what I've been working on, but last week I was talking about swatching for a new jumper design, and I had left the swatch over on my other table there, so I've managed to grab that, so I'm just going to bend down and pick it up. So this was the swatch that I actually did last week. Now it's the jumper's done in its reverse stocking stitch, and it's done. So I've got all these floats here because I knitted it flat, but I needed the gauge in the round, if you see what I mean. So I stranded it across the back just to give the effect of knitting in the round. And I didn't knit it in reverse stocking stitch, I knitted it on this side, and then it will be turned around that way. And it's done. This is a fingering weight yarn held with a mohair, a strand of mohair lace. So I just kind of picked random balls of 4-ply out of my stash of leftovers, but I quite like this colour combination of the gold and the cream and this sort of jade green. It's quite pretty. Yeah, so I did that last week, and then I've been working on the pattern, doing a bit of number crunching. So that's going okay, but obviously with homeschooling and everything that's going on at the moment in the UK, I'm not making as much progress as I'd like, but I think I just have to accept that that's how it is at the moment. Yeah, so those, I haven't really done a huge amount because I've been spending a lot of my kind of knitting or designing time knitting my Columella sample. But as I say, I'm taking part in the Yorkshire Yarn Festival on Saturday. So it's on Instagram if you haven't seen it before. You can find them as Yorkshire Yarn Fest on Instagram, and there's over 20 vendors, and what happens is that we've each got a 15-minute slot throughout the day, and we log into the Yorkshire Yarn Fest Instagram account to do our live. So all the lives are on the Yorkshire Yarn Fest Instagram account. So that's nice and easy. If you're watching, you just need to kind of keep an eye on them all day, and then different vendors will pop up. You don't have to be jumping about from place to place, which is a nice way to do it. And my slot is at 1:25 at lunchtime. And I'm going to have my kind of kits that I've had before, but obviously I will also have the Columella shawl kit. So I have got 3 colours of that. So this is the slate, this lovely dark grey. And then I have got, now these don't have the colour name on them. I don't think I can remember off the top of my head, but this is a lovely pale grey. And this is 4 ply, and it's Welsh wool, and it's lovely and soft, and very squishy. So that's the pale grey. And then I've also got a really nice turquoise, which is on the cone. So it's a really lovely turquoise because it's not too bright. That's pretty accurate actually, the colour it's coming out there. It's a very soft turquoise. So yeah, I've got that one on the cone, and I've got the slate, the dark grey on the cone. So I decided to order myself an electric winder. So it should be arriving today. And if I have the time or the wherewithal, I will make a video of myself trying to wind some of this off. And I have got the Cambrian wool labels as well to go on the cakes that I'm going to make up. So it will be, I thought that would be easier for people than making it into skeins. So that's the 3 colours that I'll have. Oh, Georgie's saying you got some of that at Wonder Wool. Yeah, it's really lovely. I've used it a couple of times. They also do a sort of heavy double knit, slightly worsted weightish version, which I've knitted with. I knitted a cardigan in it once, and it was really nice. And I just love that it's so bouncy and soft. It really, you know, there's a big thing. I mean, I know us knitters know that this is not the case, but there is a thing about British wool being only good for carpets, and I just think it's such nonsense. And this really proves it, because it's just gorgeous. And these lovely solid colours. So I will have those on Saturday, and they'll be in my folksy shop, which you can get to via the website, which is maddieharveydesigns.com. And I'll also have all my other kits. I've got my Lowland shawl on today, and then I've got them down here, which is why I keep looking down. So I'm just going to grab the big pile. Okay. So I will have my rose thorn mitts. This one, the pattern only comes as in the kit at the moment. Those are done in Aran weight, 3 sizes and 3 different colour options. So there'll be that one. There'll be the soft-hearted hat. So I'm very matchy-matchy if I wear these 2 together. That's done in the round, and it's a slip stitch pattern. And there's loads of different colour combinations for that one, and you can have, like, that's quite bold, but if you do it in more similar toned colours, it comes out like that. It looks quite different. So you can decide, and it has pom-pom on the top. And then this one isn't in the shop, but this is the soft-hearted cowl, which has got similar patterning to the hat, but it's not exactly the same, but it's the same idea. I don't have kits for that just now, but if you did want to make a matching set, I could make you a custom order. This comes in 3 sizes, so this is the biggest size. It's double layered, and it's a huge loop, but you can make a smaller one that's just a single layer and you wear it that way rather than sideways. And there's a sort of in between size as well. So if you wanted to be matchy, I could set you up with a custom order for yarn for the cowl as well. And then I'll have my very popular Lowy shawl kits, which was a pattern that was in Amarisu magazine. How many years ago now? 3 years ago. So that's the pink and orange, and then there's a couple of other combinations of that one too. Yeah, and my Lowland shawl. And if I've got time when I do my live for Yorkshire Yarn Fest, I will show you some other designs as well and things like that. Yeah, so that's on Saturday. If you can't make it live, there'll be replays. They'll be on the Yorkshire Yarn Fest grid on Instagram, but I'll also have it on my grid, and what I've done before is I've put it up on YouTube and on my Facebook page. So if you don't catch the live, you can watch the replay on there. And I will be donating 10% of my profits for the day to my local food bank here in Edinburgh as well. Yeah, so that's coming up on Saturday. And then tomorrow I am launching tickets for my next online knit retreat day. And yeah, they go live at 8 o'clock tomorrow. And that is happening, the actual event is happening on the 28th of February, which is a Sunday. And it's a bit of a combination of a kind of knit and natter session in the morning, where we do it all on Zoom. So on Zoom you can do that thing where you go into little Zoom rooms. So it will be smaller groups for that, so that people can actually have a chat to each other, which is nice, and you can't really do that in a big group. So a small group knit and natter in the morning, and then in the afternoon there's a special guest, and we are getting, it's not really a workshop this time, it is a tour of somewhere, and if I say too much you'll guess who it is. It's a tour and then a sort of Q&A session and a bit of a general chat, and you will also there's also a goodie bag that gets posted out to you, which has a new pattern from me in it, an accessories pattern, and a yarn kit which comes from the special guest's farm. Well, now I've said too much. And it also, there'll be other goodies in the goodie bag. There'll be some refreshments and cake recipes as well. Yeah, so that tickets for that launch tomorrow, Friday at 8 o'clock, and you can find the link to that on my website, maddieharveydesigns.com. And I'll just I did give a little sneaky peek of this the other week rather, but this is that's all you're getting. That's the pattern that's coming in the goodie bag with the yarn for the retreat day. Yeah, so that's what's happening. It's quite busy at the moment, but yeah, the Yorkshire Yarn Fest on Saturday is a really fun day. You can sit on your sofa and have a virtual yarn festival. And if you're not sure how they work, I did a video 2 weeks ago with some top tips about making the most of virtual yarn shows. So that might be worth going and having a look at. It's on my IGTV grid, and it's also on YouTube. Anyway, I'll let you get on with the rest of your Thursday, and I will see you next week. Bye.